Hi, my name is Nick Ihnen, and I'm a Pioneer Field Agronomist in north central South Dakota. Now today it's May 10th, and as you can see, I'm sitting in my shed in front of my planter and my tractor, waiting for field conditions to get ready to go plant. Just like everywhere in the Midwest, in the last week, 10 days, we've had more rain than we probably need, anywhere from a ½ inch to 2 inches in spots, and so we're waiting for conditions to get ready so we can go plant. On average year, the corn's usually wrapped up by May 10th, and we should have a pretty good start on the soybeans by this time. But as of today, if you look throughout the state, there hasn't been many acres of each planted. So where do we go from here? What do we need to consider in this spring to make sure we're doing the right planting decisions, have the right maturities on the farm, to make sure that we're going to have a successful spring going forward? Today I'm going to give you just a few considerations to think about before we hit the fields. So one of the first considerations that I want to talk to you about today are our growing degree units, or our GDUs. So obviously in a cool, wet spring, one of the biggest concerns we have is, first of all, is this crop going to reach full maturity, get enough heat that it needs before a frost? Second of all, are we going to get enough heat throughout the summer to get this crop to maturity and dry down the way we need it to at harvest time? Now I get it, that's a real concern. The good news is though, if we can get this crop in the ground and get it out of the ground soon, we'll have more than enough time throughout the summer to catch up on these heat units that we're lacking now. See, in the month of May, we actually don't accumulate many growing degree units. It's in June and July that we really add up those GDUs and help finish out that crop. So if we can get that crop in the ground, get it out of the ground, we'll be good to go. So what I did is I took a look on Pioneer's website at our GDU graphing tool and plugged in the information for my own farm. And it has shown me that we're only roughly behind about 34 GDUs as of today's date. So basically, since we're not accumulating many GDUs in May, a little later than normal planting won't affect our total accumulation for the year. We just need a little extra heat in June and July to catch us up for these days that we're behind. So one of the other considerations I want us to look at this spring is that the corn plant actually will adapt how many GDUs it needs to reach full maturity depending on when it was planted. Let's look at P9998 for example. If it's planted May 1st, you'll need right around 2,350 GDUs to get to full maturity. Whereas if we have to back that planting off to, let's say, May 19th, for example, it'll actually only need about 2,227, which is a difference of about 120 growing degree units. Or another way to look at it is that later planted corn will actually need about 7 days less in the growing season in June or July to reach maturity. So even if we get a late start to this planting season, those hybrids will actually adapt and make sure that they get to maturity faster than the earlier ones did. The last consideration I want to talk to you about today is that, hey, we need to stick with the plan. I know we're looking at the calendar, we're getting a little late in the year, and we've had plenty of moisture recently, and we're going to want to possibly go from, let's say, a 103-day product down to a 97-day, or a 97-day product down to a 94-day. But we need to be careful as producers that we don't back down these maturities too quick. You know, Pioneer has done a lot of planting date research, and it showed that keeping those longer day maturities out there, even if it's a little later, will pay dividends compared to backing down those maturities right off the bat. When a grower moves that maturity down too quick, the yield curve seems to drop off more drastically in a late planting year like we're having. Basically, you have a better chance of yield retention with a longer day hybrid, even on a delayed year like this. I hope a few of these considerations were helpful in planning for this spring and summer. We don't have a crystal ball on what this year is going to end up like, but all I know is we need to make sure we're doing the right things on the front side to basically protect the yield as much as we can on the back side. Have a safe and successful planting season, and as always, please reach out to your local Pioneer rep if you have any further questions.
That concludes this Pioneer Growing Point Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook for more agronomy insights.